Hey guys, Mike Martinez here. I want to talk to you about something that happened a couple of decades ago, right? And this was actually published in Smart Money magazine. I believe it was early 90s, and this was actually a claims adjuster that worked for the insurance companies, and she was doing an expose. She was kind of doing a whistleblowing article. She was actually promoting a book that she was publishing, and the book was about the insurance industry and the things that go on, right? And one of the things that she brought to the attention of the world was that she was out there. She would go out on a claim sent by the insurance company. She'd go out, create her estimates, come back to the insurance company, drop off the paperwork, and the insurance company would then go out and offer the homeowner 25 cents to 40 cents on a dollar. And that was their initial offer to the homeowner. So in other words, the homeowner experienced damage. The claims adjuster went out there. This particular claims adjuster did their estimates, submitted it to the company, and then started noticing, wait a minute, that's not what I submitted. They're giving them 25 cents on the dollar of what I submitted. So, upon retiring, this person wrote a book and put it out there, and was, getting free publicity from Smart Money magazine. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. First of all, what I want to ask you, first of all, would you get a second opinion on, on things where you're going to expend a lot of money, right? Or things that are critically important? Do you get a second opinion? Should you get a second opinion? I think we all should agree that yes, we should get a second opinion. What this adjuster was talking about in her book was the fact that 80% of homeowners accept the very first offer. The very first offer that they're offered by the insurance company. Why? Because they think that, number one, that's a legitimate offer. Number two, they don't know any better, right? Unfortunately, this is a very specialized thing. And if you don't know, right? Now, if you're smart and you've had some contractors come by and they say, hey, it's $10,000, and they offer you $3,000, then you might say, hey, wait a minute, hold on. I got an estimate for this amount. That amount isn't going to make it. Now, what the adjuster does, or what the insurance company does at that point, because the adjuster is really there just to calculate things and create an estimate for you. The insurance company ultimately makes the decision, right? So what the insurance company does is, well, can you prove it, right? And that is where the rub is. That is where the problem exists, because most people don't know how to prove their burden. And when you don't know how to prove your burden, you end up accepting 25 cents to 40 cents on a dollar. Now notice that in the very first offer, they don't even go halfway. This particular claims adjuster was saying from 25 cents to 40 cents on a dollar. So they weren't even reaching the 50% mark in the very first offer. 50% of what you should actually be getting. Now, here's what I would like you to reason or look at and see if this makes sense to you. Right? This was written, again, in the early 90s, maybe late 80s, early 90s. And I mean, this is a verifiable document that this was actually printed by the Wall Street Journal. And again, this is back in late 80s, early 90s. The insurance industries have grown 20 times. 20 times where they were back then. Okay? They're spending hundreds of millions of dollars just on advertising. So that's beyond the billions of dollars that they're making in profit. They're spending hundreds of thousands or hundreds of millions of dollars advertising, right? And so my question to you is, do you see or do you think that that growth that happened between the early 90s, let's say, to now, do you think that this thing is still going on? That people are still accepting their first offer at 25 to 40 cents with the growth that they have experienced over the last 20 years? Do you believe, 20 or 30 years, right? Do you believe that that is still happening? Is it still happening? I'm going to say, in my eyes, no doubt about it. There's no doubt that this is happening. And I can tell you with certainty that this is happening. You know why? Because I'm a public adjuster. I'm a public adjuster, and public adjusters are advocates for homeowners. We advocate on behalf of homeowners so that this does not happen, so that you don't get 25 cents on a dollar when you should be getting the dollar, right? And you know what? To be honest with you, even when you use a public adjuster, you'll get maybe 80, 85, 90%. You never get 100%. Never. But you will get a lot more than what, for the most part, we get a lot more than what homeowners get on their own. So, two things I want to say. Number one, does it make sense to get a second opinion? Absolutely. Most people walk away with a check without getting a second opinion, and that hurts them. They leave money on the table. The second thing I'm going to say, as much as I've harped about getting a second opinion, the fact of the matter is, we public adjusters should be your first line of defense. We should be your first opinion. Why? Because we are advocating for you, and it delays the process, and it makes the process a bit longer when you first go directly to the insurance company and they cut out a check real quick. Hey, here's your $3,500 when you're really supposed to get $12,000, right? That just delays the process. It makes the entire process longer. And the bottom line is, in there, at some point, you may answer a question the wrong way. You may say something the wrong way that can that can destroy your claim. So that's one of the key important things that you want to keep in mind. What are you saying? How are you answering the questions, right? Because that is critical. Every call is recorded, and trust me when I tell you, if you ask for them to replay a call from them, they will not do that, or they will not release that information unless there's a subpoena. But if you were to go to court, you would get your recording out real quick. If you said something that was derogatory for your claim, it would come out immediately, right? So what I'm saying is this. These games have been played for a long time. The games of the insurance company where, every third commercial you put on TV is an insurance company that tells you how well they're going to take care of you until you place a claim. Then when you place a claim, they send you an initial offer that rarely ever even hits the 50% mark. What behooves you, what is of your best interest, is to have somebody fighting on your side. And again, that's what public adjusters do. That's what I do. And I encourage you, pick up the phone, give me a call. We are constantly getting, bad weather, and we're constantly getting damage. Something as simple as a roof damage that goes unclaimed goes out there and just gets worse. And then when it gets worse, they can say, you know what, you didn't handle it when it first happened, and now it's a bigger problem. Now we're denying you. And you know what? The way the policy is written, they're in every legal right to do that. So it behooves you to go out there and, number one, pick up the phone and call me and say, hey, Mike, you know what? I got this issue. I know you do things on a contingency basis. Can you come by, take a look? There's no cost for me to stop by and take a look at your damage. No cost for me to stop by, take a look at your policy. And see, I can advise you whether it makes sense to move forward or not. If it does make sense, then I'm there 100% behind you, and our company fights extremely aggressively against insurance companies to make sure that you are paid fairly and properly, right? And if you've already settled a claim or you started a claim and were denied, and it's within a 12-month period, I can still take a look at that and see if there's been money left on the table, right? Again, 25 to 40 cents on the dollar initial offers. If you accepted the initial offer, especially if the initial offer came in very quickly, chances are there was money left on the table. So put me to work for you. I work, again, with no out-of-pocket cost for you. And when, just like a lawyer, we accept claims on a contingency basis. And at the end is where our fee comes out. And if you've already placed a claim and have been dissatisfied, or you placed a claim and you were denied, I can be the man that can help you with that, right? Mike Martinez, pick up the phone, give me a call.